Good evening, and thank you for joining us this evening for this 113th regular session, the final session of this administration. I'm calling the meeting to order and invite Rabbi Prost to please give us the invocation. And if you would stand, and then we'll be followed by the pledge of the flag.
Let us take a few moments as we bow our heads in prayer. As we gather at this time of great sufferings, our prayers first turn to all those who are sick and to the medical care community and our first responders, that all are strengthened by skill and stamina, supported by mercy and deliverance, for the full restoration of health, of body and soul, in every facet of our lives. We offer our prayers at this time of our city's council final assembly. May the one who blessed those leaders of generations past, we thank you equally for the blessings of the leaders of our day who have offered themselves to the faithful work of serving Hagerstown. Kristen Alshire, Austin Hefferman, Emily Keller, Bob Brucci, Shelley McIntyre, and Lou Mutzner. We offer deep appreciation for them and for all the workers of our city, for each of your selfless devotion and your noble deeds to overcome differences, to work together, to foster our local bonds of caring, conscience, and kindness. As we mark this moment of transition, we recognize with gratitude the breath of creation. You have helped spark light into our darkness. It has not been incumbent upon you to complete the task, but each of you has been great in your own way. You have not desisted from the work. You have not fallen prey to despair. You have not been lured away by hopelessness, and you have not been silenced by apathy. Rather, you have persisted. You have fostered dreams of justice, righteousness, and mercy, and you have glorified the good from within to prevail. As you make your way into the next chapter of your lives, whether to continue to serve as you have or in some new way, we pray that as God's name lives on, so too may your faithful efforts continue to endure. May each of you receive a portion of eternal happiness. May the justice you have sown be ever revealed in the splendor of the safety, the security, and the well-being of our beloved city, Hagerstown. May peace abound in our hearts and our homes. May beauty increase in our buildings, our parks, and streets. May we always praise one another as brothers and sisters who dwell together, one in spirit and one in friendship. And together let us all offer. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So we'll be following the rules of procedure that were effective on January 31st of 2020. If you have a cell phone, please restrict it during the meeting. Any correspondence for distribution to elected officials should be provided to the city clerk and should include a copy for the city clerk for inclusion in the official record. The meeting schedules coming up next Monday at 7 p.m. Here in City Hall, correct, in the council chamber, will be the oath of office to the new administration. Tuesday, November the 24th is a work session at 4 p.m. It's an organizational meeting. Future meeting schedule will be determined by the mayor and city council on that date. Tentative dates in December are December 1st and 8th are both work sessions at 4 p.m. and December the 15th is a regular session at 7 p.m. I have a few appointments this evening. City Ethics Commission, Appointment of Lou Metzner, term to expire September 1, 2025. Joe Jefferson, term to expire September 1st, 2021. Can I get a motion to same?
Mr. Mayor, I move to appoint Lou Metzner, term to expire September 1st, 2025, and Joseph Jefferson, term to expire September 1, 21, to the City Ethics Commission.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Hagerstown Housing Authority, Lynette Cunningham, Resident Commissioner, term to expire August 30th, 2023.
Mr. Mayor, I move Lynette Cunningham, Resident Commissioner, term to expire on August 30, 2023 for the Hagerstown Housing Authority.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Historic District Commission, Chris George, term to expire November 30th, 2023.
Mr. Mayor, I move Chris George to the Historic District Commission for a term to expire November 30, 2023.
Second.
You two guys are the only guys here tonight. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Board of Zoning Appeals, Janice Kelch, term to expire November 30th, 2023.
Mr. Mayor, I would move to appoint Janice Kelch to the Board of Zoning Appeals, term to expire November 30, 2023.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. We have some guests with us this evening. We have a proclamation for Transgender Day of Remembrance. I'm sorry. I just want to. There we go. As soon as I walk away, you know what's going to happen. Good. All right. Can I have who's going to accept the proclamation? It's pretty long. All right. Proclamation for Transgender Day of Remembrance, November 20th, 2020. Whereas Transgender Day of Remembrance, TDOR, was started in 1999 by transgender advocate Gwendolyn Ann Smith as a vigil to honor the memory of Rita Hester, a transgender woman who was brutally stabbed at least 20 times in her apartment in 1998 in Allston, Massachusetts. Her murder remains unsolved to this day, but not unheralded. The vigil began an important tradition that has become the annual Transgender Day of Remembrance, now an international event. And whereas TDOR, which is marked with solemn ceremonies on November 20th, has a reporting period between October 1st and September 30th. This year, there were 350 trans and gender-diverse people reported murdered worldwide, 98% of which were trans women, some as young as 15 years of age. And whereas in the United States, 51 transgender or gender-diverse lives were reported lost this year, at least 30 of whom were violently murdered. 79% of reported victims in the United States were trans women of color. And whereas year after year, trans and gender-diverse persons continue to lose their lives in violent incidents at alarming rates. 2020 has seen the most recorded fatal deaths in a 12-month period since 2018. Transgender Day of Remembrance is an opportunity to remember our trans and gender-diverse siblings who have been murdered as a result of hate and would most likely otherwise be forgotten, while raising awareness, providing support, and extending hope. And whereas the City of Hagerstown is fully committed to the safety, well-being, and health of all citizens and of all people, the commemoration of Transgender Day of Remembrance is an expression of this commitment and a reminder that trans and gender-diverse people are our sons, daughters, parents, friends, and family. Now therefore be resolved with the support of the City Council, I, Robert E. Brucey II, Mayor of the City of Hagerstown, Maryland, to hereby proclaim November 20th, 2020 as Transgender Day of Remembrance in Hagerstown and encourage all citizens to work toward ending all forms of violence against others.
I'm absent-minded, so I have to have a slip of paper in front of me. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council members, for continuing the tradition of proclaiming the International Transgender Day of Remembrance as being recognized in Hagerstown. Connection 6-8 United Church of Christ and its grassroots outreach effort, For State Pride Faith Network, work to remember the lives senselessly lost each year in conjunction with Transgender Day of Remembrance, because hate and violence are simply not needed. We as a people can celebrate our differences, whether they be skin tone, religion, gender, sexuality, age. I love how I get so shaky in front of people. Age, ability, or nationality, while being ourselves. Our world has enough conflict and strife without us as individuals causing more. So I challenge each and every one of you, every day of your lives, to practice love and compassion towards everybody. It's as simple as that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Here we go. We want to get a picture. Here we go. I'm going to take my mask off. Is that okay with everybody? Just hold my breath.
Defiant till the end.
Thank you.
Lou, will you join me? Buddy, you've been around a long time, I'll tell you, and I am very happy that you have been. I've enjoyed every single day that we've got to spend together. Even though we had differences at times, we always seem to work through them, and I appreciate that. Because you know I'm a hardhead, so you've made up for that. But anyway, I have recognition of service to the Honorable Louis C. Metzner, City Council Member, 1994 to 2020. With gratitude and appreciation of your dedication and service to the City of Hagerstown and the citizens of our community over the last 26 years, from the Hagerstown Mayor and City Council. Thank you, Bob. You guys want to come down real quick? Let's get a picture with you. All right? I want you to stand right here in the center on this step. Right there. Around. Got you.
What do you say, Bob? Bob,
Even though he
can you
wants
take
to
a
be
tiny
married.
step this way, Bob?
Which way?
This way. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. I gotta turn it on.
That takes safety off here.
Okay, here we go. Good smiles and 1, 2, 3. Let me do one more for safety. And here we go. Good smiles, 1, 2, 3. Okay, got it.
We're not done. Mr. Mayor. Could you join me down here?
I will.
Said Mayor Brucci, you are the longest serving. You are the longest service to the Honorable Robert E. Carucci II for 15 years of dedicated service as the mayor of Hagerstown. With gratitude and appreciation for your commitment and service to the city of Hagerstown and the citizens of our community.
Are we taking another photo? Not with him?
I would take it.
Okay. Just making sure.
I will be there on it. Scott said he wanted this done fast tonight, so. Okay, so, citizen comments. As usual, thanks to COVID, people could email their comments in prior to the meeting by 5 PM. Any emails, Donna? No. We do have one person signed up, Gary Nalvin. Yes, sir. Please step up to the podium, just state your name and address. You can take your mask down so we can understand you.
All right.
Gary Nalvin, 531 North Mulberry Street, Hagerstown. Thank you and good evening, and thank you all for your service over the past 4 years. I'm commenting on behalf of Represent Hagerstown. 13 years ago, the property at 170 West Washington Street sold for over $1 million. Today, the city of Hagerstown is giving it away to a private Baltimore-based developer under an agreement that is of questionable benefit to the city and its residents. The city has invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in this property, which will not be recovered through the sale. And the city's investment will not end with the sale. The city will subsidize development and eventually rent payments to the developer through tax-supported city grant programs. It is unlikely that the city will ever recover the amount it has spent and will continue to spend on this property. What is guaranteed is that a private developer will gain ownership of a public asset at virtually no cost. The economic benefits of this sale are dubious. Hagerstown needs high-quality, affordable housing. This agreement with the developer does not ensure affordable housing. Hagerstown needs businesses that will provide for the sustenance of the local community, as well as businesses that will attract patrons from outside the city. What sorts of businesses will occupy this development? The agreement again provides no guarantees. How much of the promised $1 million investment in this property will be spent in Hagerstown? Will local construction workers be employed on this project? Will they be paid a living wage that boosts the city economy? The agreement contains no such provisions. As it is right now, this sale amounts to nothing more than a taxpayer-funded giveaway of city assets to a private developer. I urge the mayor and city council to reevaluate the terms of this sale and consider an approach to economic development that more clearly and directly benefits the city and its local economy. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Marty.
Yes. I appear today in recognition, indeed my appreciation, of Lou Metzner's over 26 years of service to the citizens of the city of Hagerstown, Washington County, the state of Maryland, thereby to the nation. For 10 of those years, I was privileged to serve alongside Lou and share both the many upsides and downsides of public office. Lou was at times passionately involved, at others bemused, but always with the public interest at heart, not that of Lou Metzner. Lou excelled at listening to all sides of an issue, then offering a crisp summary, which usually served at a minimum to move the discussion along, but often formed the substantial basis of reaching an eventual consensus. Lou announced his retirement earlier in this council term, and as I understand it, this will be his last meeting, again after 26 years, appointed in 1994, and by my count, re-elected 6 times after. Lou is a native Hagerstonian graduated from North in the late 60s and from the University of Maryland subsequently. His law practice and conduct are of a low-key advocacy that I know is very well respected in the Washington County judicial community. Likewise, his many years as a football referee in Washington County fit into his temperament for fair, balanced, and well-reasoned decisions. But most of all, I know that Lou couldn't wait to be outside bicycle riding in our beautiful Hagerstown, Washington County countryside. Like Lou, I was first appointed, then elected several times to the council. However, being a few years older, I announced my retirement, in my case, to my adopted city in 2016. Lou and I were not always on the same page, but had a similar general outlook, hit it off right away, and tried to find practical solutions. We did not consult before every council meeting. Instead, when one of us thought something was crucial or politics, just as politics, were in play, we would pick up the phone. God forbid the misunderstanding of texting, even if we could in those days. But still, there would be times when Lou would start off orating on an agenda item that surprised me. I would be thinking, where in the H is he going with this? But I would listen, see his point, and often offer modifications, sometimes counter thoughts, or maybe an idea that here is how to make this work. And he likewise to me, without prior consultation. Would that our world could work that way these days. Yes, back in that day, we had lunch every month or two, but usually those occasions revolved around the state of the world and old war stories. Remember, we were already old guys, rather than plotting political agendas. Laughs and lamentations to always be remembered. So Lou, enjoy your retirement. Like me, I'm sure you'll not resist the temptation to keep your hand in for the public interest. But you have already served your home community with honor and distinction. Based on experience, my recommendation is just have a good time. You're still young. As an afterthought, Kristen, Bob, Shelley, I can know you well enough to call you that. Two promising incumbents, Emily with the bully pulpit, all of whom have been will foster the best interests of Hagerstown. I wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marty.
Austin,
I didn't write that.
thank you for your service. Didn't mean to leave you out there.
Thanks, Marty.
Anybody else before we move on? Okay. Need to get a motion to approve the minutes, please.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move for the approval of minutes as presented for the mayor and council meetings held on October 6, 2020, October 13, 2020, October 20, 2020, and October 27, 2020.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move that all the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of an ordinance authorizing the sale of property located at 170 West Washington Street.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move for the mayor and city council to approve an ordinance authorizing the sale of two city-owned parcels located at 170 West Washington Street to 170 West Washington Partners LLC for the sum of $1,000. The sale will provide the opportunity for approximately $1.1 million of private investment for mixed-use property redevelopment. The sale will be in accordance with all terms and conditions outlined in the attached purchase agreement.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, real quick, and I wanted to make sure that there was clarity on why I both made the motion and support it. You know, this property, a lot of folks that are probably newer to the community would not recall its vibrant history. To the degree that you know, when the city acquired this property, I think we got it for like $28,000. We spent about $70,000 tearing down the worst of the bad portions of it. Subsequent to that, picked not the best color to paint the remaining parts. But the reality is, like other properties that we own, we put it on the public negotiated sale process, the CNS, I think it's called. It's been there for a number of years. There has been opportunity for all kinds of folks to come in and pitch ideas for what they would like to do with this property. Like a number of these properties, I think that this body and probably prior administrations that acquire these properties and try and get them back out are likely to want to give them away. We are likely to assume some degree of loss on them because they are of a nature of an eyesore that they do not belong remaining in this community. It's exactly this type of property that we targeted and said, you know what, we don't need to see, and the best memory I have of this are the pictures in the newspaper on more than one occasion of a Hagerstown City Police officer arresting someone for prostitution. That's a reality. That was part and parcel to the operation of this type of property. And so, I'm happy that after a number of years of this being available for anybody out there to have an interest in doing something positive with it, after we remove the negative, to come forward and invest this degree of interest in it. I could definitely ask, all of those questions of, what are they going to do? How are they going to do it? When are they going to do it? And to what degree it's going to benefit me. But the reality is, at the end of the day, that motel gone benefits this community in perpetuity, period. And I think that at the end of the day, if you had to ask the surrounding properties, and especially those churches that have kids come there every day for schools and daycare and things like that, they would tell you unequivocally this is a net positive for this community. And I wholeheartedly support our move forward with this.
Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of an ordinance, 352 Summit Avenue, quitclaim.
Mr. Mayor, hereby move for the approval of an ordinance to quitclaim a triangular piece of land in an unimproved alley right-of-way at the intersection of Surrey Avenue and West Memorial Boulevard. This land in the alley right-of-way have been determined to no longer be needed for public purpose.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approve an ordinance amending chapter 82, discriminatory practices of the city code, updated personal protections.
Mr. Mayor, hereby move for mayor and council approval of an ordinance to amend Chapter 82 discriminatory practices of the city code. This amendment will repeal and replace Article 5, discrimination in employment, in its entirety to revise the city code as a result of updates regarding personal protections in federal and state legislation.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approve an ordinance for the acquisition of real property for the urban improvement project.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move to approve an ordinance for the approval of a property acquisition agreement to acquire property known as 43-53 West Washington Street, a portion of 55-59 West Washington Street, and a portion of 50-58 West Antietam Street. Acquisition of these properties will allow for the completion of the plaza and cultural trail from Antietam Street to Washington Street.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of resolution for the comprehensive settlement agreement and mutual release with Cascades Holding U.S. Inc.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move that mayor and city council approve the attached resolution for a comprehensive settlement agreement and mutual release with Cascades Holding U.S. Incorporated.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of resolution amendment addendum to residential lease for 11850 Indian Lane.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move that the mayor and city council approve a resolution authorizing the amendment of a lease agreement at the City of Hagerstown-owned property located at 11850 Indian Lane in Hagerstown, Maryland. The amendment will extend the term of the current lease until May 31st, 2022, and although the lease conditions will remain unchanged.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Approval of a amendment to agreement with American Traffic Solutions, Inc., doing business as Vera Mobility.
Mayor, hereby move for mayor and council approval of resolution to approve a fourth amendment to the agreement with American Traffic Solutions, Inc., doing business as Vera Mobility for a digital red light camera system. Term of this amendment is January 1, 2021 through December 31, 2021.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Amendment to the fiscal year 2021 Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan, CIP funding reallocation.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the mayor and city council to amend the FY20 and FY21 Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan in order to reallocate $50,000 of available CDBG funding for capital improvement projects based on the attached action plan amendment details. Final allocation of this funding will result in $30,000 of additional CDBG funding for the FY20 Mitchell Avenue Signal Project and $20,000 of additional CDBG funding for the FY21 Handicap Accessibility Ramps Project.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval purchase for materials, North Point, former Cascades.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move that the mayor and city council grant permission to the city administrator to approve purchases in excess of $10,000 for any electric distribution materials and equipment necessary to provide service to North Point Development located along Basil Boulevard and GB&J's LLC located at 273 East Memorial Boulevard.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of license agreement Barbering Home School for the Arts Foundation, Inc. for engraved papers.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move to approve a license agreement between the City of Hagerstown and Barbara Ingram School for the Arts Foundation, Inc. to install and maintain engraved brick pavers in the public sidewalk fronting 7-19 South Potomac Street.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carries. Approval of a change order for 2020 pavement preservation program.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move to approve change order number 01 for the 2020 pavement preservation program between the City of Hagerstown and Craig Paving Incorporated. This change order is for additional paving work on South Cannon Avenue from Mill Street to near Cleveland Avenue in the amount of $76,000. This amount will be refunded in full by Columbia Gas and repaves areas recently damaged by gas line installations.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of management services for Potterfield Pool.
Mr. Mayor, we move to approve a 3-year contract for pool management services at Potterfield Pool with the YMCA of Hagerstown beginning with 2021 pool season. The contract provides all lifeguards cleaning and assisting city staff with aquatic programs. I further authorize staff to purchase the necessary chemicals, chemical storage container, and complete future emergency repairs as they arise at the pool.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of temporary overfill of 5 positions.
Mayor, hereby move for mayor and council approval of 1 full-time firefighter position to be hired to backfill the retirement of Fire Marshal Doug DeHaven, who has announced his retirement. Fire Marshal DeHaven's last day will be December 31, 2020. This will allow for all new hires to begin training classes January 4, 2021. Approval of this request will ensure that all will be available to be moved to shift work, minimum staffing positions, in the shortest amount of time possible for trained firefighters.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Approve of temporary banner, Maryland Theater, Donut Drive-By.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move that mayor and council approve the installation and display of a temporary banner over South Potomac Street as required by Section 216-17 of the Code of the City of Hagerstown for the Maryland Theater's Donut Drive-By event on December 31st, 2020.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of noise ordinance exemption, Mulberry Lofts Jingle Mingle.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move that mayor and council approve an exemption from the City of Hagerstown's noise ordinance under Section 155-5 of the Code of the City of Hagerstown for the Mulberry Lofts Jingle Mingle on December 12 and 13, 2020.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Anybody else have any new business that we have not covered?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes,
Oh,
sir?
God.
Yeah. I have been provided the privilege to present the next and final resolution of the evening. I would ask the mayor and council for approval of a resolution naming of the lake at Pangbourne Park as the Lewis C. Metzner Lake at Pangbourne Park.
You get a second first.
I also get the honor of reading this long motion, which you guys often task me with.
Go right ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move for mayor and council approval of a resolution authorize the naming of the lake at Pangbourne Park to be named the Lewis C. Metzner Lake at Pangbourne Park. This motion and resolution recognizes and honors the conclusion of 7 consecutive terms and his 26 and a half years as a council member serving the city of Hagerstown. Councilmember Metzner began his service in October of 1994 as a midterm replacement for outgoing councilmember John Schnebley. In June of 2015, he was inducted into the Maryland Municipal League Hall of Fame, which honors current or former elected officials who have served their communities for 20 years or more and who have left a lasting impact on their community. Councilmember Metzner received a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Maryland and a Juris Doctor degree from the University of Baltimore. He was admitted to the Maryland State and Federal Bars in 1977. He has been practicing law in Hagerstown since that time. He's a founding member and past president of the Washington County Criminal Defense Attorneys Association. He has served on the board of directors of the Maryland Criminal Defense Attorneys Association, and he has been past state liaison to the national organization. Locally, Councilmember Metzner is a past member of the Sunrise Rotary. He's a past vice president of the Community Rescue Services, Inc., past president of the B'nai Abraham Synagogue, and a former board member of the Community Free Clinic. He was also instrumental and a key influence in the creation of the Thomas Kennedy Memorial Park on East Baltimore Street. The mayor, fellow current city council members, and all of those who served with you, Lou, over the past 26 and a half years recognize and appreciate your commitment and devotion to the city of Hagerstown and for being a prominent and influential part in progressing the city through both the good and the bad times. Our city residents have benefited tremendously from your leadership and guidance you have provided during your tenure on city council. Your wisdom and friendship to not only your council colleagues, but also to city staff and the citizens who have served under you and been fellow citizens with you will never be forgotten.
I got a motion. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Emily. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I think the motion carries unanimously.
This is the actual sign that'll be installed out at the park.
That may not be the actual sign.
Yes, okay.
Just
Good
glad
job,
you guys
guys.
didn't drop that on the way in.
Goodness.
There'll be other folks that'll be installing it, right?
All right, Lou, you want to say something now? Or you want to wait till it's your turn?
No, I'll say something now.
Okay, buddy.
My turn. geez, I don't know that I could have thought of something I would have liked better. It's hard for me to thank everybody enough for that, in all seriousness. It was going to be easy until then. Thank everybody very much. I'll try to be brief, and I'm going to do something really dumb, because I want to name names, which means there's going to be a lot of names later on tonight. I go, wow, I forgot that person or that person, but that's what happens when you get old and senile, so put up with me for just a couple of minutes. I want to thank staff, and I would say what I said to you guys when you started, that if you want to look good and make this job easy, just listen to your staff. Let them do it, and you'll be fine. People in this community like to complain, but I got to tell you, every day, you wake up in the morning, you turn your light on, you turn your water on in the shower, you expect your police, your fire, you expect to go out and drive on roads that are safe and good, and you go to your parks. And the people that work in this city love the city, and they do it for that reason, because there are a lot of people in this room that could make a whole lot more money in the private sector. So over the years, there's some people who've been really important to me, and that's included all of our city administrators. Bruce Zimmerman was 20 of my 26 years. Mike Spiker, who basically came in and sort of saved us. And now we have Scott, who has followed in those footsteps, and I appreciate all of that. Probably the one staff person over the years that I think I've worked with closely more than anyone, who my only regret is not having gotten him nominated, which I had hoped to do this year at MML for Employee of the Year, is Rodney Tissue. Being the senior member, I've been able to be Bicycle Advisory Committee and Traffic and Parking, which are the plum ones to have. And I was lucky enough to have Rodney as the staff member in both of those. And what he has done for our bicycle community in these years is wonderful. And then every single huge project in this community, our cultural trail, professional boulevard bridge, and one of the things I put down was the lake dredging in Pangborn Park. And then covering my rear end on the pod. The one guy who stood up and said, yeah, it's a good idea, let's work with it, get it done. Some people who are and are not with us anymore, Ted and Vicki Bodner, for those who don't know, we wouldn't be doing July 4th every year if it weren't for Ted and Vicki. Examples of citizens who just wanted to give. Other people could have done the job, but I don't know if anybody could have pulled off the things that she did better than Karen Giffen did over the years. The 20-some years of Blues Fest, August-Toberfest, and the highlight of my 26 years on this council was the 2 trips that we took to D.C. with the World War II veterans, which she was an integral part of putting together, along with 60s Under the Stars. Probably the most special people that I've had the opportunity to work with were all located on the 2nd floor. Whether it's Danny Fry, Brenda Hallbaker, Donna Spickler, or Jan Brickner. As all you know and the incoming folks are going to find out, when you call those people, you feel like, I don't know, anybody ever watch West Wing? Mrs. Lanningham? We've got a whole bunch of Miss Lanninghams up here on the 2nd floor. And they act like they work for you, and the reality is they don't. They work for the citizens. And a call to them is like calling the best private secretary you'd ever want to have. Working with Steve Seger, Bob Rucci, Bill Brickner, and Dave Geisberts was a gem. Nancy has been wonderful between water and everything else. Kathy Mayer and Austin Abrams, some retirees of Junior Mason and Debbie Everhart and Gary Hallbaker, who worked tirelessly and hopefully with me to finally get us 2 to 3 men on a fire truck, especially 2. Actually, we got up to 3, didn't we? We're sending 2. I still try. We've had the most wonderful fire chiefs and police chiefs one could imagine, but candidly none better than the 2 that are in here tonight. Jonathan Kearns, who worked with Much, and Eric Hastings, always taking the pictures. Almost done, actually. Marty Brubaker, thank you, Marty. And Austin, I have to tell you, you're my Marty Brubaker on this council. The 2 of you are very similar, and I feel very close to both of you. And 2 people who did the best thing that ever could have been done for me to allow me to do what I'm doing tonight, which is retiring on my own terms. And that was 2 people. One of them was Marty. When Marty announced his retirement on the council, it took me by surprise. And I thought about it for a long time, but that didn't make any decision. I'll tell you who made the decision for me. Another person that worked with us, Bob, for many years, and that was Penny Nye. As I sat 4 years ago, finding out that I had won by 8 votes, I put Marty together and Penny together and thought it's time to retire. And there's a time for every season. And I appreciate your wisdom in passing that along to me. As far as these 2, it's been wonderful being a thorn between 2 roses. And you guys are going to do wonderful. Austin, I'm sorry you're not going to be around. Kristen, I appreciate all your kind words, my friend. Worked with you as long as anyone. What's so nice about Kristen, staff made my life easy because they did all the work and I just took the credit. Kristen made my life easy because I never had to worry about the budget. I figured if Kristen Alshire said the budget was okay with him, it was damn well okay with me. And I knew that I didn't have to worry about finding things to cut because he already found them. And I truly mean that. That's not sarcasm. That is having complete and total faith in someone to know they're going to do the right thing. And over all the years I've worked with Kristen, I've never seen him do anything but that. And he has a passion like no other. And Bob, you and I of many, many years, and one of the most memorable times of my political career was the night of your swearing in. I'm sure you remember it. I do. And you're right, we didn't always agree on everything, but we never, ever had a problem with each other. And if there was ever a thought that there was a problem with each other, there wasn't more than an hour went by that a phone call wasn't made to say, or a knock on the door wasn't made to say, hey, if you took something the wrong way, let's get it straightened out. And I appreciate that. Almost done, really and truly. I want to thank everybody who voted for me. And the other thing I want to say is I'm very proud of my high school class. Class in 1970 has had me here for 26 years, and 2 of my classmates have had children who are the mayors of this city. One was Dave Geisberts, and the other is Emily Keller. And I think that says a whole lot for your parents in my class. The last person I have to thank is probably the only person that was here at my first meeting and here at my last one, and that's my wife, who has put up with everything that you know politicians' wives have to put up with, and I appreciate it. And you all will appreciate this. I will look at my 26 years as a total success if I actually back out of the parking garage tonight without hitting anything. Yep. Thank you again for everything. I couldn't have thought of something that I would have liked better than that, because if you ask me for the one thing that I think I'm so proud of that we achieved was the parks in this town over these 26 years. Thank you again.
Thank you. Mr. City Administrator.
Wish I didn't have to follow that.
I know.
Just a couple things, Mayor. Just want to remind everybody that the tree lighting on Monday, the 23rd, has been changed to a virtual tree lighting. It'll begin at 5 o'clock. You'll be able to see it on Facebook Live. We'll still do the Santa coming in with the mayor. Still have music and all, but just due to the mess we're in now with the pandemic, we just felt it prudent to try to back that down a little bit and do it in a little more safer manner. Also, the swearing in will be here, 7 o'clock, in council chambers. Limited group of people will be allowed in. And that'll also be broadcast on the cable channel, Facebook, and YouTube. Just on behalf of staff, I want to thank Councilman Heffernan for his service the last few years on the council. Honestly, when that position was being filled, we heard the name Austin Heffernan, and we said, "Who is that?" But I can tell you that through our experience in working with you and your knowledge and your commitment to the city, we definitely know who you are, and we appreciate all the service and the help that you've provided us, and we hope we've been able to help you as well, and we'll miss you up there on council. And then Councilman Metzner, it's going to be extremely difficult as a resident, 34 years of Hagerstown and working here for over 17, and knowing folks here in the city longer than that, to not see you up there. You have been a larger-than-life figure to me, even before I started work here at the city. And, you know, one thing we do, and Donna and Danny and I will do this sometimes, we'll just walk, you know, as we're walking down the hallway, just look up and we'll, you know, think about what council members, you know, might have done what they were like. And I think I'll have great pride someday and be able to come back here and maybe with my grandkids and be able to look up on the wall and see Louis Metzner on 5 different pictures up there and say I had a chance to serve with and to serve for that councilman. I'm very proud of that. Good luck to you. And we couldn't be more thrilled with being able to provide the opportunity to name that lake after you. And lastly, as we do every 4 years, a little keepsake for each of you to remember your time on the council. I have a little booklet of pictures for you.
Oh, my goodness.
So that you can look back and remember all the fun times you've had with us and with the citizens.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
There you go.
Very nice.
Mayor, that's it for me.
All right, buddy. Kristen?
I have a couple of things, and I just sort of want to tick them off and make sure that I get through them this evening. Most of it is, not surprisingly, about the decision by Councilmember Metzner not to run again. It's hard to believe in 2001 it's been 20 years. I had a lot less hair then. And, you know, one of the things that we did is we met at Western Maryland Hospital as sort of like this initial meeting, and I will say that when you're 25 and you come into that room of folks that are way more professional than you ever sort of envisioned being, the first thing we did was talk about, you know, sort of our differences, and the first thing I noted, we talked about the invocation, and I will say from day one, Lou probably remembers that conversation, but he accepted that we had differences of opinion in life from the outset. It was refreshing, it was surprising, and it was reassuring to step into that room and feel that sort of acceptance of the individual as part of the collective. And it's probably you know, probably the reason, the only person that I've ever used on my resume for jobs is because you have been in every bout of discussion we've had, the personification of if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. I think it's been hard for me to even recall you ever having a bad word for a person, and that's a resounding quality, I think, of any individual. A lesson that I've tried to take over time. And, you know, I look back at that 2001 now and just sort of imagine in my head now at 45 what you must have thought. And I can't help but feel like the older guy with sort of the weary eye of the new faces that are embracing their role of city leadership and wanting to be able to do so with that same objective approach and diplomacy that you had and have maintained through the course of time in our relationship in these chambers together. And the last thing I'll say is I think this is fitting, and here's in part why. You know, if you recall as well, when we sat here and former Mayor Brickner on his last evening in office as the mayor spoke to city staff and recalled his time as the city water operations manager and kept referring to this older gentleman that had run the plant for years and years. And he said, I don't know why I got my name on something. That gentleman should have got his name on it. He ran the plant forever. They put my name on it. And I would say to you, put your name on something. Because I think it's important for people to be able to say to their kids, I know that guy. The last comments I have are in relation to the current election. Congrats to everybody that ran. I think that's hugely important. I think it's something that is missing in our age of politics now. And I'm certainly going to miss those, the folks that won't be here moving forward. I've certainly had a good time. The second thing I'd like to say is thanks to the citizens. This is the first time that I ran without a party affiliation. And I think that we need more unity and less division. So I thank folks for not having to look at me as being on one side of a fence or another. We all sit in the same field together. And with that, I'm looking forward to the next administration. Austin, you've been great. We'll enjoy your retirement, and thank you.
I just wanted to sincerely thank my fellow council members and Mr. Mayor for giving me the opportunity to serve the citizens of Hagerstown the last 2 years. It's been an extremely rewarding experience, if not eye-opening at times, but very rewarding. And to echo what you said, Lou, I have been so impressed with the staff of the city of Hagerstown. And you know, you hear things from time to time, people on social media, which none of us should look at. I'm a firm believer in that now. But we have a fantastic staff here. I mean, I don't know anyone that I have met in the service of the city that is not first rate, that I would be honored to serve with again. And it's been my honor to be on the council with you, so thank you.
Thank you.
So I thought all day today of what to say tonight, and I don't really think there's anything I can add. I do want to thank staff for these last 4 years. I echo everything everyone has said. You guys have been fantastic. Our citizens have no idea the work that goes into making this city run, and it's been really incredible to watch from the side. Austin, I admire you so much, and I appreciate your service to the city and have thoroughly enjoyed getting to know you. Lou, there's not a whole lot else to say. You know, you taught me something in one of our first meetings. We didn't know each other then. It was a forum that they had back in 2016, and it was the Tea Party Forum. And of course, you and I were kind of odd man out in this forum, and you got up there and you were just unapologetically yourself. And at one point you said, listen, I'm a liberal Democrat. I'm probably not going to agree with you guys on anything with national politics, but all we are doing here today is to talk about the city of Hagerstown. And I just remember sitting there like, yes, thank you for saying that in front of this room full of people that you're not on the same political spectrum as. And I've always admired that about you. You've always kept it about Hagerstown and always done the right thing. So I'm so happy I got to serve your last term with you. And Sharon, I hope you put him to work now in retirement. Give him a honey-do list. Some more time. And Bob, as you switch roles, thank you for your service as mayor. Get out of my chair.
Not yours yet.
And Kristen and Shelley, I love you both. I'm looking forward to the next 4 years and getting some more things done in the city. So thank you.
Lou, you want to add anything else?
No, thank everybody, that's.
Shelley?
So when I was gifted the opportunity to serve on this council, Lou came to my office and he said exactly that. He was like, staff really makes you look good. Just let it happen. And look, that you didn't think you were just going to get that plaque, did you? I mean, that's fantastic. What you'd failed to mention was a global pandemic. You forgot that part whenever you talked to me. So just, yeah, you didn't mention that. But it has really been a true honor. Your consistency, your ability to be able to shuffle through papers and listen to every single word that's being said. I don't know if that's an attorney thing or a politician thing, but you are brilliant with that. So just everything that you're able to teach us that you don't even know that you're teaching has been a true honor to serve with you and to sit next to you, whether it's here or down there. You've really taught me a lot, and I really appreciate being able to serve with you, just like Emily said. Austin, I am going to miss you terribly. I really am. We have created, this council, this mayor, this administration, we have done a fantastic job for the past couple of years. And we had some tremendous momentum going forward before COVID hit, and it was, we did some great work. And I have faith that the next administration is going to keep that going. But what an honor to be able to serve with all of you. I'm very blessed, and I'm grateful to be able to continue my service for the community. And like Kristen, I appreciate the votes. Thank you.
I'm not long-winded like these other people up here, but, I can't say enough about staff, and I know it's been said. And unfortunately for staff, they've got 4 more years of me to call them and bug them. I know that Rodney Tissue and Kathy Marr and Jill, and they put up a lot when it comes to me because, I call them a lot because it's true. They know it all. We don't know it all, and we rely on that, and they've never let me down, and I appreciate that. And I look forward to doing great things in this next administration along with the other people who were elected. And Scott, conversation that we had years ago at the Hagerstown Suns about a new city administrator search that was going on, and I have to admit, this is tough for me, you know that. But I was wrong back then, and we couldn't have chosen a better city administrator, and especially in these trying times, to help keep things moving forward and keep everybody protected. And for that, I'm very thankful, and I'm happy for our friendship. Lou, I'm going to say one thing. Even through all the years when I wasn't mayor, Lou and I had a special relationship, and we could talk, and he's right, I would just stop by and knock on the door, and sometimes Sharon let me in, sometimes she wouldn't, but we always had the ability to talk things out before, and even if it was beginning to become volatile, we talked it out before it got there. And for that, I appreciate that very much. You gave me, you kept me balanced, which is important. My wife has that ability to keep me balanced, and like Sharon and everybody else who has spouses, and I'm sure Tennille knows all too well that it's a pain sometimes, because whether you try not to or not, you end up bringing this stuff home every once in a while, and it gets rough, and it's good to have somebody there as a sounding board that listens and then tells you you're wrong. I get that a lot, but I appreciate her very much, and I'm thankful that she's allowing me to continue to serve the citizens of Hagerstown, and I look forward to the next 4 years. I look forward to working with Kristen and Shelley and Takesha and help me.
Tiara.
Yeah, right, Tiara, on the council, and then Emily as our leader, leading us. So hopefully we continue to do the great things that we've been doing, and everything moves as it should. So I appreciate that. Austin, I'm going to miss you, buddy. You were again one of those level-grounded individuals on council who didn't let things fluster you, and I appreciate that. Got to have that levelness, So, all right, for the last time and only time, I will do this. This administration is adjourned.